It's the most magical time of the year, and I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about the NFL season. So make sure you're ready with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Get the most live NFL games all in one place. Right now, you can save $85 when you bundle NFL Sunday Ticket with YouTube TV. Sign up today at youtubetv.com/Spotify. Device and content restrictions apply. Discount applied to first 4 months of YouTube TV, then $72.99 a month. Ends August 29th. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. No refunds.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Birds of the Round Table. It is Tuesday night, 8 o'clock today. We're talking birds. Joining me, he is Ryan Reese. Go give him a shout out on X at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much, man. Ready to talk about this way too early, but it gives us a good kind of timeline of where our brains are of what this roster could look like come August.
Yeah, we've had a minute to sit on the NFL draft and rookie minicamp, and now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of the offseason, literally, where we're going to have some fun with these shows as we get ready for training camp. Also joining us, he is David. Give him a shout out on X at PHL Eagle News. What's up, man?
Doing great, man. Just watched Bryson went over the wall there for a grand slam. Good content on the show tonight as far as 53-man roster. I think we got 49 out of 53 right last year when we did this, so we're pretty good at this. Yeah, man.
Wow, we should keep track of this then. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. All right, I'm hosting. Ryan's going to keep count. We're going position by position here with our Eagles way too early 53-man roster prediction. Guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment your thoughts on each position. We've got Davey in the house saying, I'm here for this type of content. Daniel, as always, happy Tuesday, bro. Happy Tuesday. And fly, Eagles, fly. Let's jump right into this thing. Leading off with the offense, quarterbacks. Let's lead us off with David. How many quarterbacks? What's your take?
Yeah, I think that nailed it. Whoever typed that up, A+, man. It's 3. I think they like Tanner McKee enough to not risk him by putting him on the practice squad. Will Grier is just here for helping people implement Kellen Moore's system. So yeah, I think it's 3. I don't think that's too debatable.
Yeah, this is probably the easiest one out of the positions. What about you, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, listen, David said it best. Will Grier is exactly getting paid to go through training camp. I mean, essentially, he knows it, they know it, and he's really there just to make everyone else's life a lot easier. And hopefully, I like this 3 personally. I'm a big fan.
Yep. Let's just roll on here and head over to let's go wide receiver. I think that's the more fun position of this group. Wide receiver per this article, 6. Throw it to you, Ryan, first. What's your take?
I'm going to go 7, actually. I really do think that Johnny Wilson will make this team. Mm-hmm. I think his unique size and abilities, and I think they really could be utilized quite well, especially in the red zone. And I feel like you have to keep Britain Covey after the job he did last year in the return game. And I'm really excited to kind of see what Anaya Smith does. Campbell and Devontae are, older vets. They're, they are what they are kind of thing. But you brought him in exactly to kind of at least give you some usable depth. So I think maybe 7.
7 for Ryan. What about you, David?
I'm sticking with 6. The only difference I have is one of the 6 I differ. I agree with Ryan that Johnny Wilson makes the team. I have Devontae Parker not making the team. I think he and Smith are somewhat redundant, in my opinion. And I don't believe Parker got guaranteed money. If he did, it was very, very minimal. So I like what Paris brings to the team, his dynamic a little bit more than I do Parker. So I'm going with Smith. to take out Parker, and I'm going Johnny Wilson, just 6 receivers on the team.
What about Britain Covey? Let's have a quick conversation about Britain Covey. Mostly because the Eagles brought in a bunch of guys that can return. They also, we also didn't really see Covey a lot as a wide receiver. What do you think are the odds that he makes this roster?
It's going to be
I
tough.
think very high.
I think it's going to be tough because, again, I think you're not going to see him out there as a receiver. He is solely going to be used on special teams. And when you bring in guys that can do that and also contribute in other ways, again, even if Covey might be slightly better, I feel like the versatility, the ability to utilize other players in other positions and actually get out on the field is going to be more valuable for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm a little more out on Britain Covey than you guys. I think maybe some of that role could go to Ainias Smith.
Yeah, I think they've been in hell with their punt returners for so many years. They're not going to let a top 10 PR walk out the building there. He's been practicing his wide receiver skills with Puka Nacua. Did I say his name right? He's been working out with him during the offseason. He's really focused this offseason on trying to be a receiver. I mean, I think he would beat out Parker. I don't know who else you would be speaking of in order for him not to be on the roster, unless you're just going down to 5 wide receivers. But I think he could beat out Devontae Parker, just age, money, vet, and some of these other vets like we haven't even talked about, like Avonte Maddox. They can be put on the practice squad without the risk of being poached. And there will be playing around like that on the roster when they do this for real come September.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're going 6. So
yeah, I think 6, but we just have different players making it.
Yeah, so we got to figure out what's 6. So we got
all right. We got a consensus.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Ainias Smith for sure.
Johnny Wilson for sure.
And Johnny Wilson. Okay. Paris Campbell
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 5.
And Britain Covey.
It's Covey or Parker at 6.
I'm going Covey.
Me too. Me too.
All right. So we're going 6 wide receivers.
Okay. Bye-bye, Devontae Parker.
JR chimes in, why would you keep Britain Covey? He takes up a roster spot for someone who will never touch the field as a wide receiver. I'm kind of with JR. I think this is a vital training camp for him, maybe more so than some others think.
They kept 4 and 5 tight ends last year. They don't touch the ball either. And Covey brings a lot more as a punt returner than tight end 3 and 4 ever did. So
Alberto.
And Grant Katera too. What do you have? 3-4 catches the whole year? I mean, it was a useless roster spot, man.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So we're at 6. We're locking in 6.
Yep, we got 6. So we got 9.
Following along over here. Let's roll on to our next position, and that is running back. Ooh. Saquon Barkley, Kenny Gainwell, Will Shipley. Lead us off, David.
I agree with that completely. I like Kenny Milton quite a bit, but I think he'll be used as that practice squad kind of guy that they bring down if ever needed, kind of like in that penny role. I think those are the 3. Exactly it. And I think 3 is all that you need to keep on the roster as well.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, as sad as it is to say, Kenny Gainwell is here to stay. Ugh.
One more year.
I ran a poll about who is going to get more touches between Kenny Gainwell and Will Shipley. It was really close. I'm trying to pull it up. It was 2,000 votes. 56% said Will Shipley over Kenny Gainwell. I'm not there yet. I think Will Shipley has still a lot to prove, especially with pass protection. So right now I'm going Kenny Gainwell as the 2. Any thoughts, guys?
If he comes in with as good as pass protection as advertised, I think Shipley could take that role. I mean, I think he's going to have to take it away from Gainwell. It'll be later during the season as this year progresses. But yeah, I mean, everything I've read and everybody I've spoke with said Shipley can pass protect from day one. And he's pretty dynamic on the outside as far as, receiving, just like Gainwell has been. So You got 4 more years at Shipley. You don't need to showcase Gainwell anymore unless you're going to ride him into the ground the first few weeks and then just move
on. Miss Chris said someone said Gainwell would sign somewhere else. I don't know. After the comments he made recently about the fall of the Eagles in 2023, do you think that could push Howie to ship him somewhere else?
It wasn't a good look talking about the communication problems amongst the top tier people in the organization. It's never a good look to do that.
No, but he is under contract, Miss Chris.
Yeah, he is for 1 more year, and it's cheap. Yeah, I'd say he'll be here all year.
Yeah, listen, this is supposed to be the initial 53, right? So he may not finish the year on the Philadelphia Eagles, God willing. But yeah, for the initial, I think it's got to be the 3 here that we just mentioned. Pretty easy.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we are rolling with 3 running backs, correct?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Lock it in.
12.
We're up to 12 now.
Yep.
All right. We are rolling into let's get some comments and then we'll get some discussion about the tight end spot. JR says, I'm a big Covey fan. I just don't know if he's that much better than what Campbell, Rogers, Smith, or Cooper DeJean gives you. That's my take too. I'm right there with you, Junior. JR, not sure. I read Shipley is really good at pass protection. I think he's shown flashes. I don't think we saw enough of it. What's your take, David?
Yeah, I mean, everything I've read and seen says the same thing. I watched very little of him throughout the draft process. I mean, I was more enamored with a few other running backs in that 120-ish range, so I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. And he's coming off an injury. I didn't know if that would be the kind of player that the Eagles would go after, so I didn't watch him as much. I probably only watched 2 or 3 of his games. So everything I saw, he looked good in it, and everybody who's spoken about it said that they're really impressed with his pass pro at camp and what he showed at rookie camp and what he showed on tape in college. So I'll defer to that for now, but I don't really know with my own viewing.
We covered this on Party on Broad, his pass protection, and it was like a week or 2 ago. And I think it was something like he gave up 0 sacks in 2023 in pass protection. And then I do think he gave up a couple in 2022.
I think you're right. I think it was 2 in the previous season. I think I saw that he'd given up 4 since high school. So I don't know.
It's not bad. Not bad.
No, not at all. No.
Yep. I would love to see Shipley jump Gainwell for RB2, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're not that lucky. If Kenny gets more touch than Shipley, I'll be surprised. I've got high expectations for Shipley. Nice. Interesting. I mean, I'm really interested to see how Kellen Moore utilizes this guy in the slot on those wheel routes. That's what, and we talked about this on our draft shows. That's what gets me excited about how the Eagles are going to more heavily focus on their running backs in this offense, passing and receiving, or running and receiving. Kenny is Cox's cousin. Cox is gone now. Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool. I love Covey's personality. It blends in perfectly in our locker room. Let's roll on to tight end. According to this article, they are keeping 4, Dallas Goedert, CJ, Albert O, and Grant Calcaterra. I disagree with this. Lead us off, Ryan. What's your take?
Yeah, I 1,000,000,000% disagree with this. If Grant Calcaterra is on this roster, it'll be an absolute tragedy. Like, listen, CJ Uzomah he's a guy that has been tight end 1, isn't going to be, a world beater, but as a tight end 2, I think he would fit in really nicely with Dallas Goedert. Albert O, again, he's a big guy. You look at him and you're just like, how is this guy not, the number 1 tight end in the league, just looking at him, but he obviously isn't there. So I think they're more kind of bringing him along and trying to, unlock that untapped potential. What is there with Grant Calcaterra? There's no potential. He has about 7,000 concussions. Like, I just don't see a single redeeming quality that you would bring back Grant Calcaterra over what we have already.
What about you, David?
I went with 3 tight ends total. I have CJ, Goddard, and instead of Albert O, I went with Castles as
Yes.
tight end.
Oh my God, I forgot about Castle.
Me too, baby.
I mean, Albert O was there for, I don't know what he was there for, 8 months or whatever. He never found anything on the team. The Eagles liked him too. They wanted him for 2 years. And then when they got him, they never were able to utilize him. So, yeah, I'm going with Castle as tight end 3 there.
But do you think do you think they like him more than they like the potential of Albert O? Because I think that's exactly why Albert O has been sticking around and why he's still on this roster is because they just love the absolute potential of this guy.
I mean, I agree with you. They re-signed him for this year. They didn't have to do that. He could have been, but I don't know. I think Castle brings just youth and more ability, and signing CJ is probably the best protection Goddard's had since Ertz left, really. I mean, they haven't had anything but a blocker. They haven't had anybody who could add any offensive, production from that position. I don't know. I'm kind of enamored with Castles. I went and watched him quite a bit after they signed him as a UDFA, and I kind of like that pick.
Yeah, I'm going Castles as well. I think he's got upside as a pass catcher. He's a guy that can make some plays in the open field. I just don't know what Albert O is at this point. I'm gonna stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm gonna go Castles, CJ, and Dallas for 3. So we need to come to an agreement.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be such an uphill climb for Castles to make this roster.
It is. I agree.
I think.
I mean, the standard's pretty low, Ryan.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Some positions the standard is very, very low. But you have seen it when the Eagles love a guy, and they will do whatever especially a lower level guy where it's not going to cost them a lot of money. It's not going to kill them to have the roster spot. I just think to start the year, I think Castles is easily a practice squad guy that they want to be able to bring in slowly. And I think this is one more year of Albert O trying to get him to unlock that potential. And I think if it doesn't, the experiment has failed and they're not going to re-sign him. But hence why they went ahead and brought in Castles, I think, as kind of an insurance policy. And it may even happen during the season. But I think to start the season, I think Albert O is on the 53, in my opinion.
You're just being too sensible. But yeah.
Wow. You know what? I might have to clip that and just carry that around with me.
And you might be right. If they think they can sneak Castles on their practice squad and nobody will poach them, it probably will be the way it goes because Albert O, it would be slim for him to make it probably on there, but you never know.
I would assume.
Give that guy a follow. Give that guy a follow. Wherever Shane is in this, universe, follow him as.
Oh wow! I love how you just have clips of me just sitting there waiting.
And that was you being nonsensical. So we got both examples now. So.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I appreciate it. Hence
why everybody follow. You're gonna follow.
Follow everybody. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like that's just my opinion. I know how the Eagles are when they love a lower level dude. They just seem to never want to give up on the guy. And they did just pay him an extra year. That could have just let him go. So they obviously have some plan for him.
But we did agree to just 3 tight ends, though, right?
Yeah,
we did.
So, all right, so let's do it. So we have 3: Dallas, CJ, Albert O. We're good with that?
Yep, that's fine.
All right, mark it down, Ryan. We got 3 tight ends. What are we at number wise?
15.
We are at 15. Yep.
All right, sounds good. Didn't Jalen play with Grant for a year in Oklahoma? I don't know how close they are, if at all, but that's something.
Yeah, real close to 4 catches or whatever the hell he had. Get out of here.
How's the tight end draft class next year? It's okay. It's better than this year. There's no
Oscar
doubt.
Delps, baby, Georgia.
Yeah. The 2 guys I've covered so far on the channel are Colston Loveland and Mitchell Evans. I think both are like kind of day 2 kind of prospects. There's no Brock Bowers, but those two guys, you'll be hearing them, their names a lot, both for Michigan and Notre Dame in 2024.
Which is where Howie likes to take his tight ends anyway. Day 2, second round.
Sure it is.
Yes. Let's roll on to offensive line. This article has 10. Cam Jurgens, Dylan McMahon, the rookie, Landon Dickerson, Tyler Steen, Matt Hennessy, Trevor Keegan, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Mekhi Becton, and Fred Johnson. Lead us off, David. Agree or disagree?
I agree 100%. And strangely, those are the exact 10 I have. I have 4 OTs, Johnson, Mailata, Fred Johnson, and Becton. He's on there, right? Yep. And then six IOL, Jurgens, Dickerson, Steen, Hennessy, Keegan, and McMahon. Yeah, I have it the exact same way.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, the only one that I think I kind of agree that they will keep 10. The only one that I kind of question, I guess, is Fred Johnson. But I kind of feel like they really do like him. So
the fact he's a tackle and everybody else's interior just kind of saves him on that.
Yeah, that's also very true. That's tough. I mean, I agree with all 9 for sure. I gotta make sure.
Any quick thoughts on the Maryland tackle, Gottlieb? Ayate? I can't even. I apologize. But he apparently could be a swing tackle. Has experience playing left and right. Any thoughts on him potentially making this list? He was an undrafted free agent.
I'd be shocked if he beat anybody else on the team for that.
All right, let's lock it in. We're good with 10.
All right. Sure.
I'm more interested in the Howard tackle that Dankwa.
Yeah, Dankwa. Exactly. That's what I was.
If I'm looking at a UDFA, I'm looking at him to take Fred Johnson.
Absolutely. This guy is a massive human being. He's like twice my size, and I'm like 6'3".
He's 6'8", 360. Yeah, the guy's a beast, man.
Jesus. I love me some big offensive linemen.
Is that
35.5-inch arms?
Is that your burner account? I can't wait until Kenny G is off this team.
And now, just another smart and sensible human being. See, I'm already using it.
All right, let's roll on to. Wait, did you see that Watts might unretire and go to Houston?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no. There's like a rumor.
He said if they need him.
Yeah. He kind of jokingly last year said.
Not if he can get one of these.
Wow, that's also true. But yeah, he was kind of just like, hey, give me a call, like blah blah blah, like to what's his face, the coach.
He's going to pull. What's the guy's name we got at tackle year before last? And Ndamukong Suh, however the hell you say his name.
Ndamukong Suh.
There you go. He's going to do that. He's going to come like week 13 and try to get a ring.
All right.
Well, that's 25 offensive players, by the way.
25.
Let's do special teams.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply.
Should we just lock in special teams? Should we lock in special teams?
Let's not save that for last. Let's get that over with.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get that over with, because if that's what we're arguing about, then we got some problems.
All right. Just lock it in 3.
Yes.
Jake Elliott, Braden Mann, Rick Lovato. Moving on.
Yep.
Now we got 25 spots left. Let's go.
All right. So now we are rolling to defense, which I think is way more fun than the offense. Obviously, let me share my screen here. We're going to start with defensive tackle. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Moro Ojomo, and Gabe Hall, 5 defensive tackles. What do you think, David?
I have 5. I do not have Gabe Hall. I have Mustafa. Is that how you say his name?
Okay.
Yeah, I have him as the 5th defensive tackle. I would love to see Gabe Hall take the job, but I don't have enough confidence in that happening. I do think he'll be a member of the practice squad, and if somebody goes down, I think he definitely will be a part of the 53. I see him as number 6, but I do think they're only going to keep 5 defensive tackles.
I have the same exact 5. I think Gabe Hall, Gabe Hall's versatility to play inside and out is exactly what they want on this line. What do you think, Ryan? I'm sticking with Gabe Hall.
Yeah, I do kind of like Gabe Hall. Again, I think he was kind of a surprise undrafted. They certainly did just bring in Mustafa. Isn't Marlon Tuiopi whatever? Isn't he considered a D tackle? Correct.
He is. He's like a backup nose tackle.
Yeah.
I personally think he would be just as useful. He's still young. Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that too. He's also got the loyalty of the coaches because he's been here.
Right.
Mustafa's a walk-on basically. So I can see that too. But I definitely think the number 5's right, and we're just debating Gabe Hall, Mustafa, or Tui Pelotu.
Tui Pelotu does nothing for me, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't blame.
So we're down to Mustafa versus.
We're literally talking about the 5th guy here. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to do nothing for nobody. So,
Dave says, I think we trade for an experienced defensive tackle. I agree. For the sake of this experiment, where are we at?
Basically, it's down to 2. You say Gabe Hall, you say Mustafa, and I guess now I gotta be the deciding vote.
Yeah, Mario played 162 snaps that last year. That was it.
Yeah, not bad. Listen, I think it's going to be easier to stash Gabe onto a practice squad. There obviously was a reason that he was undrafted, and all teams apparently know about it. So I think it's not like somebody's going to be scrambling to try and steal this guy necessarily. I think I might lean towards Mustafa with stashing of the Gabe Hall.
All right. Sounds good. Was that 5? That was 5, right?
Yep.
All right. 5 defensive tackles. This show's going a lot faster than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Edge rusher. Let's start with edge.
Hassan Reddick. Oh, wait. Sorry.
According to this article, Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, Zach Bond, Brandon Graham, and Jalix Hunt. 6. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly going to need them. And, if we're calling Bond officially an edge, I guess that makes sense. I'm trying to think of who else we would. Isn't what's the guy we got from Miami? Aguara? However we pronounce his name.
Aguara?
Yeah, Aguara. I feel like he's got
Pat Johnson.
Yeah, he doesn't really. He doesn't really do anything for me. He's my Marlon Tuliopiopo.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who else might be in the mix there. Taron Jackson,
Patrick Williams, or is he a linebacker?
Is he?
Patrick Johnson. Sorry,
Johnson. Yeah,
he's in the mix, but
yeah, he's kind of in the middle there, isn't he? I always thought Taron Jackson was kind of.
Taron Jackson
was kind of there. Not that I'm like rooting for him to make the roster here. I'm just kind of using it as an example of somebody. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to necessarily disagree with this list. I mean, I think 6 is the right number. Considering we have 5 D tackles, 6. I think we did we keep 10 or 11 D linemen last year?
And Graham moves in and out, which he played as many snaps inside as outside last year. So
last year they kept 12 on the defensive line.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So with 6 here, we would be keeping 11.
Yeah.
That makes sense considering we have less numbers than people than we did. So,
and they have better off-ball linebackers.
yeah, well,
we'll see.
Well, yeah, that we will also say. I'm actually all right if that's the 6 we go with.
All right. You do realize we lost 600 plus snaps after 2022, and then another 600 plus with Cox gone. The D tackle rotation was worn down last year. I wouldn't be shocked if they kept 6 defensive tackles, with not knowing if Carter and Jordan Davis 600 plus snaps.
If they do, they're going to have to go out and get one because there's nobody on the roster after those who can play 600 snaps. So
yeah, I was going to say who are you going to add to that D tackle rotation that's going to even eat up to any of that?
Yeah,
nobody. That's kind of why I was a proponent for Byron Murphy II or Michael Hall Jr. in the draft, because even though everybody keeps saying you can't keep drafting a D tackle in the first 2 rounds every year, well, when they keep leaving, when Hargrave leaves and Cox leaves, you kind of do need to keep filling the pop line, because Jordan Davis is more of a nose than a true defensive tackle with the interior pressure there from the side. So I don't know, man.
Is there any free agent D tackles that are even worth noting? I wonder.
I don't know. Howie's got money and trade assets, so you can never take anything off the board with that, man.
He loves adding a late guy right before camp.
But 6 edge and 5 tackles at this point, I think that's the right number. They don't have anybody else worthy of losing a corner, safety, or linebacker for to swap that out.
All right, 11 on the defensive line. We good with that?
Yep, we got 14 spots left.
I also like to add defensive tackle is loaded in next year's draft. Loaded.
Yes, sir.
Really, with high quality talent, big time. So, how he's going to have his eyes on some of those guys for sure.
When was the first defensive player taken in the draft this year?
The 4th?
The first. 15th pick, 14th pick?
It was the guy. I got it right. It was
Latu.
It was the edge rusher. It was the Latu.
Yeah, like at number 14 or 15, right? Yeah, that's not happening next year with all these defensive players in the draft.
No.
Well, the big name is James Pierce Jr. He's like a Will Anderson. That's what they're comping him
from
to.
Tennessee. Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's an athletic freak, man. Miss Chris says Carter and JD will pick it up this year. I hope so. Hopefully they keep it. They also pick it up in the second half of the schedule.
But before we move on from that, one of the reasons they wore down, and this isn't an excuse, but both of those guys came from Georgia, who never ever had to play full games. They were winning 40-10 at halftime, and they rarely ever played many snaps. They were already heavily rotated at Georgia on that defense, and then they're blowing everybody out. So you don't leave Jalen Carter in the fourth quarter. You don't leave Jordan Davis. You don't leave those guys in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tui had like 160 snaps. I mean, I don't think that's going to be that consequential, but
yeah. So it's more like 800, but yes. Still,
I wonder if Tom Brady would unretire to become Philly QB2.
Let's go.
All right,
Matt Williams needs to step up, man. I mean, this is more his turn to shine than anybody else that we've been talking about. I mean, he's in a contract year. This is a big moment for him.
Yep. Rolling on to linebacker. This article has 5 linebackers selected: Devin White, Nakobe Dean, Trot Jr., Van Sumeren, and Oren Burks. Any thoughts, David?
I have only 4. I don't have BVS making the initial roster.
Really?
Yep. I mean, I'm sure both of y'all are going to. I mean, he's done well. He definitely has probably earned a shot at it, but I only have 4 off-ball linebackers, as Bond and Hunt and some of them guys can play that role as well. I think they have a lot of interchangeable pieces there, and I loaded up in the defensive backfield and went 1 short at linebacker in my projections. Ryan, you can go ahead and eviscerate me now. Have at it.
No,
I mean, they have that corner so much better.
I am not. Listen, sadly, after Trotter, like, gross. just plain gross. Like, no offense to Van Summerin or Oren Burks, but like those aren't guys that I really ever want to have to see the field, sadly. So I'm actually, I'm gonna say that the initial is 4 right now, but I 100% believe that it could be 5 because I feel like they're gonna bring in somebody, probably a familiar name that they may have brought in last year. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Hi, Zach.
Yeah, I just have it in my bones that they're going to bring back Zach Cunningham.
They very well could. Yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense. The guy, the guy's familiar with the players. He can come in. Come on, he's obviously better than Van Summerin and Burks, and isn't going to cost you anything. Isn't going to cost you a bag of balls. So, I just think it makes too much sense. But for this exercise, I'm going Dean, Trotter, White, and Burks.
I'm good with that.
Okay,
we'll go with that because this is where it gets.
We got to spend more on our defensive backfield. Like, there's too many people that we're gonna have to cut some really good players here, and we got to have an extra spot for them. So, by the way, right now we are at officially 15 defensive players.
Okay.
So we got 10 spots left for safety and corner.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, that is correct.
Let's go to cornerback. By far the craziest group here. This article has 6. What do you think, David?
I went 7. I kept Bradbury. No, I did not. I kept 7. I kept 7 guys. I got Big Play, Slay, Quinyon, Cooper, Keeley, Isaiah, and I had Maddox. He's not on there, right? I had Maddox and Eli Ricks. I do not have Tyler Hall, but to be fair, I think that he probably does make the roster. I just couldn't figure out a way. I couldn't move Maddox off or Ricks off, but I think he could take one of their spots there. But like I mentioned earlier, Maddox can be put on the practice squad as a vet without being poached. So that's with a handshake deal, we're bringing you back, 3 days later. So that could be a way to kind of sneak one of these guys onto the team. But, yeah, Maddox to me and Eli Ricks. But, yeah, Tyler Hall's a great one. But I think the number is 7, not 6. I don't think it'll just be 6.
I think it's 7 as well. But am I just blanking on who the hell Tyler Hall is?
They just signed him this offseason.
He was a free agent.
Was he?
From the Raiders, right? Isn't that where he came from?
Is that where it was? Oh,
I think so. But I have him cutting Bradbury, sadly Zach Pearson, sadly Josh Jobe, McCullum. Maybe he makes it back to the practice squad. I don't know.
And all of the other, randos that we know and love. Now,
Tyler Hall was really good in the slot, though. I mean, I do think they're going to try to find a way to get him. He was from the Raiders.
Okay. Yeah, I have Slay, Q, Maddox. Again, if we're calling DeJean officially a corner at this point, then I have him, obviously. I have Ringo, I have Ricks, and I have Rogers.
Yeah, I think he is a corner to start off. I was told they're going to even look and see how he looks outside. He's going to move down the chart. Like he's going to start outside, see what he looks like, move inside. They don't want to just start the kid off at safety and say you can't do something. So I think that's smart. I mean, he's the 40th pick in the draft. I mean, it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, let him figure out what works best for him.
Yeah.
My gut feeling is, and I've been saying this for months, I think the plan is, A, to get him on the field. And where is that? It's not on the outside. It's the slot. I would not be surprised to see Cooper DeJean getting most of his snaps early on in the slot.
Can you imagine a Slay, Mitchell, and DeJean corner set out there? Oh, God damn.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Was CJ fully capable of playing slot as well? I mean, you can't go 4 wide either. They can cover that as well.
Yeah.
So excited about the defensive backfield this year.
Yeah. I have Avonte off the roster. I have Eli Ricks off the roster.
Oh, snap.
Yep. Darius Slay, Quinyon, Cooper, Keeley, Isaiah Rogers. I'll go Tyler Hall, I want Josh Jobe to like prove me right.
He's so good on special teams too, man. He's great.
I think he's such a core special teamer, and I think there's talent there.
I agree.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And listen, so
that's how I feel about Ricks.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one. So we have 5 that we are all agreed on: Slay, Q, Coop, Ringo, and Rodgers. So we have those 5. Now it's just figuring out the last 2, whether it's Hall, whether it's Maddox, whether it's
And maybe we're too bullish on Rodgers. The guy hasn't played in like 18 months, and we all think he's just going to come back to the field and impress everybody. But who knows what he brings? I mean,
yeah. And he's played mostly on the outside, correct? And everyone is expecting him to play on inside.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's going to have to beat somebody out. I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion. They got him for nothing, too. I mean, they basically signed him while he's suspended.
Yeah.
So maybe we're too bullish on him. Maybe they would keep 2 young guys. Maybe they keep Ricks and, Tyler Hall or Jobe or somebody. But we all agree with 7 corners since Cooper is kind of a quasi.
Yeah, split, whatever. We'll figure it out later kind of deal. All right, so I guess we need to figure out Avonte Maddox first and foremost.
Let's go Avonte.
Get him out?
They'll keep him in.
Okay, so, all right, so we're keeping, so that's 6. So now we're down to Ricks and Hall.
I would probably go.
I'd go Hall.
I go Hall. I'm just not a big Eli Ricks guy.
I'm rooting for Ricks, but I think they went and got Hall for a reason.
Okay, I'm good with Hall.
We got 7 there.
It's 7. Yeah. All right, so that means we got 3 safeties.
All right, let's move on to safety to wrap it up. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who else?
The only question is if Sidney's on the PUP, but I don't think he will be.
Yeah,
he looks really good.
Yeah, I heard he's a lot further along and could be ready to go by early preseason.
He's getting around better than I am, and I wasn't even injured. So yeah, he looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's what I heard for me.
This gets even more complicated if they actually go out and bring in like Justin Simmons.
Absolutely.
Then we're like, oh crap, what do we do? It's a good problem to have.
Great.
I think they go 6 CBs then.
Yeah, but agreed.
They just have so much diversity with those guys. With well, like Cooper. I mean, he changes the game there because he's so versatile. I mean, that was why that was just such a great pick. Speaking of him, did you guys watch the insight that the Eagles released about them drafting to get him and how they couldn't sleep the night?
One of the best shorts.
Carolina.
Awesome.
They never released that stuff. That was so fascinating to watch, man. That was really cool.
Quentin has a question. What are you looking forward to the most? A healthy Hurts and Saquon or the new Eagles secondary?
Ooh.
Quentin says secondary.
I'm looking for a secondary too. I'm a corners guy, man. I love defensive backs. I love defense. I am sick of seeing us give up 400 yards through the air every week. I am sick to death of it.
So if anybody doesn't know me, like I watch the game, then I watch the all 22 and I make short clip highlights of like every single target, every single snap of different players specifically. And I'm not going to lie, like for me, it's the secondary, most specifically what they do with Cooper DeJean on defense. I cannot wait to like pick apart DeJean every single week and where he's at on the football field. That's going to be like all I'm doing during Eagles season. So for me, it's secondary. We all know about Quinyon, he's a beast, but how they employ DeJean in this Vic Fangio defense is going to be really exciting. Really exciting.
I'm actually also really kind of interested to see how Fangio, moves CJGJ around. Again, he's very versatile as well, and I think in Vic's defensive set, I think he could even take his game to another level too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they really missed GJ on that defense last year too. I mean, I think he was a very important piece that they never were able to figure out. I think it blew up in their face when he left. I think it was Howie's intention to keep him. It didn't work out, so they backtracked and then grabbed Bradbury. That blew up in their face. I mean, that whole situation just did not work out, and they never figured it out in any way. Bradbury, I personally think he's lost his step. I don't think it's just scheme like a lot of people do. He was never a fast guy to begin with, and when you lose you lose a little bit of speed when you already are not a top tier guy at the speed, it's a problem. And he got torched all year out there on the side. I mean, even rookie quarterbacks, first time players were just looking for him on the field and bam, going all the way down the field on him. 90-yard drives and 4 receptions, all on him in the Seattle game. I mean, it was not pretty.
No, yeah, they missed Gardner Johnson on multiple levels. Just the attitude that he brought, how he was in the locker room, just the swag that he played with. I mean, it was a completely different defense. I mean, they had absolute identity, and without him, they all looked lost out there. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, he covered up a lot of deficiencies. There's no doubt about that.
Yep. Where are we at, Ryan? Do we hit 53?
Yeah, we got 53. Yeah, we got him. So I'll do a very fast recap.
All right, let's do it.
Quarterback, we're going Hurts, Pickett, McKee. Running back, we're going Barkley, Gainwell, Shipley. Barkley, so close, just barely making the roster. Wide receivers, AJ, Devontae, Anais, Johnny Wilson, Paris Campbell, Britain Covey. Tight end, Dallas Goedert, CJ Uzomah, and Albert O. Offensive line, we're going Cam Jurgens, Dickerson, Steen, Mailata, Lane Johnson, Dylan McKinnon, Hennessy, Trevor Keegan, Mekhi Becton, and Freddie Johnson. Special teams, Jake Elliott, Mann, and Lovato. On to the defensive side, we got defensive tackles, Jalen Carter, Williams, Davis, Ajomo, and Mustafa. Edge, we have Huff, Sweat, BG, Jalix Hunt, Bond, and Nolan Smith. The linebackers, Nakobe Dean, Trot Baby, White, and Oren Burks. Corners, Slay, Mitchell, Maddox, Rogers, DeJean, Ringo, and Hall. And finally, 53 total. We have 3 safeties, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Ed Reed Blankenship, and Sidney Brown. Boom.
Great list. I'll say we'll get 47 of them right. That'll be my guess, 47.
There you go.
Even we were debating about 4 or 5 of these guys, so yeah. It'll come down to that. Does anybody else look at Burks and say the word Oreo to your head every single time?
Every time.
Oreo.
I can't stand that I do that, but I do. Maybe I'm just hungry. I don't know.
So, like bubble guys, these are guys that are like fringe.
Yeah.
Guys that we think or a big training camp can swing one way or another.
Well, and you also have to factor in too those bubble guys too that Howie's always a mover and a shaker. So like he can absolutely go out and get somebody to come in and replace that guy. And I think that's what's going to happen with Oreo Burks. We're going to go and get Zach Cunningham and throw the double stuff out the window. So that could happen on multiple positions.
Nice.
Yeah. My biggest bubble guy on offense to me is Devontae Parker. I like the signing, I like the depth, but I think Smith can do what he can do cheaper, or maybe it's not cheaper. I don't even think Parker it was guaranteed that much money, but I just think Smith is more worthy of the roster spot. I cannot imagine him going 7 wide receivers because it's not enough balls for 6 wide receivers, much less 7. So he would be my biggest bubble guy on offense.
We talked a lot about Britain Covey. Got to throw that out there. McCullen Castles was a guy that was discussed. Gabe Hall, another big name on the D line.
Yeah.
Avonte Maddox, Eli Ricks, I think we're like in and out on those 2 guys.
I think corner might be the most volatile because
Zach McPherson. I guess we're all just out.
You have so many actual really good corners that like you don't know it. Maybe Job has been working out like a beast, and he comes into camp and he absolutely is just showing everybody out.
And we all dismissed Bradbury, but I haven't heard the Eagles do that yet. So I mean, you never know.
Listen, he does usually follow a pattern. One bad season, one good season. One bad season, one good season. We're on the good season this year, allegedly. So we'll see.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on the Eagles 53. Lead us off, David. Plugs, thoughts, time's yours.
I think our 53 is perfect. Everybody should download it, put it on their wall. I think it's a masterpiece for this early in the year. I think we nailed it. I have a piece coming out tomorrow in regards to Howie Roseman. It's basically about his rise to becoming like the most powerful man in Philadelphia sports. You can find it on my X tomorrow. Just go to PHL Eagle News. Give Ryan Reese a follow at Philly Sports PSA. Deibs at Mr. Crockpot. Shane, even though he's not here, give him a follow. He's a great follow as well. I don't have anything else to plug. I wish I was as entertaining as these two above me, but I don't have any of their dance moves or point moves or whatever it is you're doing. That's amazing. I like that. Breaking 3, Ryan Reese. I love it, man. That's really cool.
David is incredibly modest.
Very much
one of the best Eagles writers there is. PhillyCoverCorner.com. Go check out his work there, and PhillySportsNetwork.com. Writes all the Eagles content. It's
Metro.
It's excellent.
You'll find the stuff in the Metro too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Make sure you go check that out. Ryan, you're up, bro.
Listen, I don't have as many cool things as David has going on, but you can find me all over Edge of Philly Sports. Just make sure you're liking, following, subscribing. YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. We've got a lot of you watching on Facebook right now. We appreciate you. Also, make sure you guys are following all of us here, including Shane, who is no longer with us for tonight.
Shane will be back next week. He's wrapping up some coaching.
He finally succumbed to that big hole he had in his house.
Exactly. Somebody just walked in his house and grabbed him, you know?
We also have a fun announcement. We'll wait for Shane next week.
Mondays, 6 o'clock, Football Smack Talk show. And then 9 o'clock for Party on Broad with this guy. Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock as well. I'm all over the place, but I keep losing Twitter followers. I'm almost.
It's that damn breakdancing you're doing, man. You got to tighten up.
That's how I was getting them. Like,
I think your Magic Mike days are over, my friend.
I'm only about chair dancing now. I can't actually do it.
Give that guy a follow. Give that guy a follow. Wherever Shane is in this, universe, follow him as well. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's Philly sports all the way. Let's go Phillies. Let's go Eagles. Let's get some wins this weekend, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
I am never deleting that from my computer. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've gone. You know me. Like I probably have like 500 draft files on all these players, and I went through all of them individually. There's Ryan's video. Nope, not deleting that one.
Let's go. You need to send that to me. I feel like I want to use that in evil ways.
What was the video that became a meme where you made some face when we played the wrong intro?
Yes, now that I have saved.
Shane has that one, I think.
Yeah, I have that saved on my phone. Anytime I need to use a GIF, it's just me, like, my eyes get real big. I'm like, whoa.
That was great.
So the story there is we were doing Birds of the Round Table and I was hosting, and I just had too many things going on, and I introduced the show as Party on Broad with the intro. That's my other show. But guys, thank you everyone for watching, and Ryan's show. Thank you everyone for watching Birds of the Round Table Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. If you love the NFL draft, I'm up to 32 prospects. Just mini blurbs about some of the big names. you should know here. Just getting ready for EA college sports football, man. Can't wait for that game.
They just announced that there's going to be an announcement next week.
God,
they announced an announcement. That's really wild.
An announced to it. Well, I think this is more of a breaking secret. Somebody from GameStop was like, "Hey, we got some information."
Oh man, I'm nervous for that game, man. I know.
We have it so built up.
I know.
I hope it even lives up to like half of the expectations.
I can't wait. So we'll be live streaming that and doing Eagles hangouts and things like that. It'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, thank you everyone for commenting. One last plug. Make sure you check out Training in the AM tomorrow morning, talking Philly sports here. Phil Stifle is amazing, talking Birds, Sixers, you name it. Training in the AM. Make sure you check that out. Davey chimes in and says, great show as always, man. Thank you,
Davey.
Appreciate that, man. We have a big announcement next week that we'll wait for Shane to join us. One last time, Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. He is David at PHL Eagle News. I am Deibs, Mr. Crockpot. For Ryan, for David, for myself, stay awesome, everyone.